Hello, dear ones. Hi. But
This one?
okay. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy. Also, another thing that I'm super happy about is the background setup. I've been spending a little bit of time to create this. Let me know how you like it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Gina Vadana and I am an intentional portrait photographer and videographer based in Berlin. Talking about artistry today. If you are an artist and you are struggling to put yourself on a niche or in a box or in a freaking category, don't. Do yourself a favor and just don't. I've been struggling, I feel, my entire life to put myself actually in a category or say to myself that I'm this or that, although I've been more clear for the past years that one of my missions is to empower people through photography, and I'm doing it. And in the same time, I do have those moments in which I just don't see myself a photographer, and that's perfectly fine. I've realized that it's better to have peace of mind with the idea that we are more than just one thing that we declare that we are, just for the sake of the algorithms and stuff. And since my journey of discovering who I am without any conditionings and any other, let's say, limitations, I've explored a lot of different mediums and I'm still exploring. And what that does is doing a very interesting thing. It's creating a more flexible persona like me. Like I am becoming more aware in the moment and, learning to be resilient in whatever situation, and also to put myself in a discomfort to actually test my limits and where is my mindset. Entrepreneurship as a whole is a journey of discovering of yourself, of getting creative for the sake of making it happen for yourself in this world, right? But deep down, we don't need to justify ourselves, we don't need to justify why we create the things that we create. And I feel like this is a sweet reminder for everyone that's feeling this pressure from outside, and can get loud and noisy and can get heavy as well. These opinions from outside and these systems and structures that we created, in order for apps to work, brands to work, money to flow, this and that and that. Besides all of this that we created as humans, I genuinely believe that there is way more magic that we can experience on a daily basis just by allowing that freedom of expression instead of just putting myself in a category. And I really don't know why I started talking about this subject. I feel like it's very present in me these days, this understanding my vastness as a human being, as a soul that has a human body, a persona to walk through in the world and to create. And the magic of creating is being seen when you are doing something that you actually love. And that can be as well painting, that can be singing, that can be photography, that can be cooking, that can be walking in nature, that can be contemplating nature, that be sitting in a coffee and just watching people, the art of noticing, or whatever it is, the art that you want to explore. I just want to encourage you to not limit yourself to just one thing, because we are multidimensional as human beings, 100%. I've discovered it on myself. Like when I opened myself up for this world of artistry, I always knew that I was an artist, right? But I never actually, I didn't saw examples in my family or in my closest friends. And so one of the first things that I started in my journey, my first exploration as an artist, was through fashion, because it was the most accessible and the most seen outside. I would see people dressing up and I would say, actually, it is a form of art. It is something that you put attention and intention and dedication to something to beautify your body. It's interesting, I think exactly 10 years ago, I've started this journey of being a fashion blogger, and this is how I learned all the skills that I know now, and they are so embodied in me because I was doing it back then and I was so driven and so passionate to learn about this. And it was about modeling and about, being a fashion blogger, to show your clothes, to pose nicely, to have confidence, to show your best profile or whatever. 10 years ago, I've started with that. And, slowly the universe kind of showed me ways and guided me through different mediums. I explored with singing, I explored with paintings, I explored with videography a lot, which I'm also still doing, all of them. The art of cooking as well, the art of everything that I mentioned up until this point. I feel like I always was hungry for creation. And this is a 100% for every human being reality. Everyone has in them that inner artist. And it doesn't need to be through art, which is like photography or painting or whatever. It can be through numbers or through whatever you're in quantum physics very passionate about, or plants or constructions. Whatever it is, I do believe that we all have the inner artists in us that is there sometimes for some of us dormant, that wants to come out, and we all know that it's more than what I live right now. I feel like this message is kind of like a permission slip for us to explore more on artistry in whatever shape and form. One example that I could give to you for my paintings. So I've never painted in my life. I've been quite good with just copying, with a very thin, transparent foil that I was putting on top of something that I liked on a book or something, like a super nice draw. And I was drawing after that, and when I was a kid. And then afterwards, when I grew up, I started drawing things that I would just be curious about. I started with mandalas, actually. I started very nicely creating this like geometric shapes, and I feel like those mandalas were putting me into such a trance state, in such a beautiful mind state. I was just peaceful and serene in that moment, and I would just do big mandalas. That was it. That was the purpose. The purpose was drawing. Nothing else, nothing after the purpose, after I achieved that, like finished the thing, I didn't think anything at all. I just let it there or gave it present to someone, or I have this all the time, this in the back of my head, that whenever I paint, I should do something with it. And it's still infiltrated in my system, and I feel like collectively we're going through the same thing, because we do need to survive as artists as well, and we need to make our own living and to sell ourselves, our art, and to be functional citizens in the society. And what I feel like is my challenge for all of us, and my invitation as well, for me and for you, if you are resonating with today's message, which is a little bit different than what I'm usually doing with photography. It's because of this reason, because I don't want to put myself on just one thing. I know my channel is mostly known for photography, and that's perfectly fine. I believe that photography is a medium that I can attract other people into my world because they feel the resonance. I believe a lot in energy, and I feel like we are all energy, and we feel the energy of the other. It really doesn't matter what you're talking about. This is one of the things that I received from a shaman in Guatemala when he was sharing about my chart in the Mayan calendar, and he just said, Gina, you actually are transmitter of information. You need to document, you need to go, you need to travel, you need to meet people, you need to communicate, you need to share things with people. It doesn't matter how, whatever, just use your voice and use your energy to create that environment for people, to give that permission slip for people, to encourage people, to give confidence, and to be this force that I know I am inside of me. I have this since I'm a kid. It's interesting to observe how my life took different paths in order for me to arrive at this point in which I am still in the beginning, because I will never actually master a thing, because whenever I'll master it, I know I want to go further than that. I want to see, okay, I finished this mandala that's in painting talking about, that's so big. Let's do another one bigger and let's see how does it feel. I feel like we need to grow and create and grow and create and grow. I know it's a little bit all over the place, this video, or it doesn't have like a proper, like super focus messaging, like, you know, those like one studio light that I use in my studio. I feel like sometimes I need to allow this feminine, this flow of inspiration to come through me and just, you know, see where it takes me. And if you're here for it, just perfectly fine. I'm happy, and I feel like, yeah, there is some juice in here. We have new microphone, I don't know if you noticed, but we have a nice quality sound. Which brings me as well to the quality over quantity. I used to believe in the past, and I still have this a little bit because of this fast-paced society and social media world, and, you know, all this provide. And then there is another part of me that's slowing me down, saying to me, no, Gina, it's better quality. I feel like quality is something that will make your work stand out because you took the time to refine. I feel like this also is part of my journey right now where I'm going through. I feel like I'm starting refining my own journey as an artist and not putting any limits on myself. And I know now my focus is on photography because I feel very connected to it, and I feel like I want to grow and I want to explore even more, you know. I know I didn't finish the story with being a fashion blogger. After being a fashion blogger, I've started taking pictures of others because my back then partner was taking pictures of me while being a fashion blogger, and I was teaching him. I knew how to do things. I just knew how things should look like. And I've been studying journalism, but I've been always attracted to the visual world. Like I wanted this somehow. I knew I wanted this. I didn't know how exactly it would become reality when I was younger. Or maybe let's say I didn't know exactly that photography would be my medium because I never thought of myself as being a photographer. I always wanted to be in front of the camera. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be there. And I think it's part of, you know, my sign as well, because I'm an Aries, and Aries wants to be seen. Sorry about the sound. My boyfriend is vacuuming right now on the other room. Yeah, after being a fashion blogger, you know, I've started using my skills, the skills that I learned to pose, to photograph, to share with other people, and me to photograph them. And this is how slowly my business started growing, because I was connected to that. I have this passion for that. And I have passions for any other things that I'm appealed every day on a daily basis. I feel like this is a little struggle for all us artists that are coming from the cocoon of our own inner worlds, where we discover that we are more than just one thing, and allowing ourselves to explore those dimensions of ourselves, or that dimensionality, multidimensionality of us. That's why I say that I'm an artist, multifaceted artist. I feel like I do have different types of, and I prefer some types of expression or creating art. And definitely one is painting. Since I'm a kid, one is painting, and I've been painting the last few days and just felt amazing. And, you know, in the same time I was feeling so guilty about this, that I'm not creating reels, as I said that I'm going to do for November every day a reel, and I didn't do it. And then, you know, having this inner critique and this inner guilty person that just keep on complaining to you. And I dropped that. I feel like I've learned to drop the guilt and just ease into the moment. And what I do, I love to listen to a podcast that really puts me in a trance. It's a long format, and I love to go there, let myself be in the present, and paint in that moment, because that's what I'm choosing right now. To return to create a full circle of this conversation is, yeah, there are moments sometimes in which we are not so motivated to do what we say that we're going to do. That's perfectly fine. It's part of how we are. It's part of our nature. It's part of nature. As we can see, nature is not all the time on a go, doing. It's also resting, which is winter, when, you know, all the things are slowly withdrawing. We go inside more than outside. And I feel for women as well, living in with the phases of nature, with the phase of the moon, with the phase of our own bodies, you know, knowing when we are on our luteal, when we are on our ovulation, when all these aspects are so important. We never learned this at school. We never learned from our parents because they didn't know either. It's just so magical to explore life as a human being, coming as a full circle. Probably, I don't know. But I think one of the mottos or like quotes that I stumbled upon Instagram the other day was, don't use your energy to worry, use your energy to create. And that hit me because, you know, you post a piece of work on Instagram, for example, and then, or YouTube or whatever, and you put a lot of work into that, and your energy starts shifting from being internal and being your experience to being external, to seeking from something from outside. From, for example, when you don't receive the appreciation that you would want on a post that you created or something, a piece of writing. And that's the moment in which I feel like you need to kind of catch yourself and say, no, Gina, we are not doing this again. We are not going to give our power to these worries. Instead, I'm going to use this energy to close this app or close this chapter. I've delivered whatever I needed, and now I'm in the moment. I'm going to enjoy what's this present moment still going to offer me. It is tough to let go. It's not easy in the beginning to let go, but learning to letting go of all these things that we create all the time. In time, we actually create a habit, and then you just don't care anymore about these things, you know. Then afterwards, it's kind of a flow. You create, you let go. You create, you let go. You create, you let go. And I felt like I wanted to share a little bit of a mellow kind of video vibes to close off this video. I really want to share something from a book that I found 2 days ago, because the theme this week was very clear to me. It's all about how to navigate the everyday life as an artist, how to be able to catch yourself in those waves of emotions and start creating instead of drowning, if that makes sense. For me, it makes in my head. In whatever shape, that's what I mean. It's not just needs to be that particular one that you go all the time, which for me is photography all the time. I go to photography whenever I feel something, I feel a heaviness, something. Sometimes painting can help me more. Grabbing my guitar, you know, or my drum and just go into that inner artist, or that, sometimes I also like to call it our inner child, which is our version of ourselves when we were kids and we didn't receive what we wanted. And so in that moment, how am I going to take care of my own inner child, you know? And there is, on a daily basis, we are facing some of our inner challenges, you know. Everyone has his own challenges in this journey. But I hope it makes sense what I'm saying right now. I really don't know what I'm saying, but I just feel the pull to talk about it and to let our inner artist express, and I feel to empty ourselves more often, to empty so we can feel again, you know, so we can create again, which means feeling. So we empty ourselves, we learn to empty ourselves in order for creations to come through us. This is what I feel. I believe that whenever we are empty channels, vessels, we are not worrying so much. We are just doing our lives. We do the things that excites us, or even things that we need to do, whatever it is. Having almost kind of okay, I'm emptying myself. Then you are inspired again. You have an inspiration. You execute it, and then afterwards, learning to let it go. Okay, I've done it. Emptying myself again. Breathing in, breathing out, learning to hold that breath, you know, in between breathing, inhaling and exhaling, like learning to hold that I feel like this is what expands us as artists, as humans. And I want to close this with something. What is art? Ernst Billgren. I found this while I was working with a friend of mine, Emma. We were working on this library, so beautiful in Berlin, and we saw this book, and I felt drawn to it. And also it was very alive, this topic of artistry and art, and I opened it. I think I opened in, to number 4, which is the question. Number 4 is, what is art? Short answer, a question. Long answer, just as a physicist is a collection of atoms trying to discern what an atom is, so art is an invention that aims to discover what art is. Art is an invention that aims to discover what art is. What is art? And then another one that I also posted on my Instagram. By the way, you should check out my new Instagram account, because there I will be posting more about artsy stuff and the things that I'm doing and exploring and experimenting more than photography. But I'm very happy that I actually did this video, and it's a little bit different than what I'm normally doing, and just sharing this freely. I feel very, let's see, what's the ball that I did this? And not caring about algorithms so much. So, how do you become a content and happy artist? Short answer, by having a goal greater than yourself. Long answer, satisfying your ego is a tiresome and never-ending Sisyphean task. I have never encountered an artist who feels he is sufficiently well appreciated as an artist. Religious people often look happy when their actions serve a greater purpose than themselves, such as Mother Teresa, Dalai Lama among others, and people who have just saved the lives of lots of small children also tend to look pretty fulfilled. It's the same in art as with the rest of life. Find a similar function in your art and you will end up happy and satisfied, 100%, being in service, I always say it. And one more I think I was saying about that I really liked. Yes. The last one is, how do I become successful? Short answer, make someone happy. Long answer, you become successful to the extent that someone else profits from your work, gets their ideals or notions validated, ideologically, economically, aesthetically, or in some other way. This applies if you mean becoming successful in the eyes of others. If you mean successful in your own eyes, a touch of megalomania will do. So if you mean successfully in your own eyes, a touch of megalomania will do, which means is the art of like being very obsessed with yourself or something, with your own art. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope I will have new fellow artists with joining this channel and joining this ongoing and inquiry of being an artist and what does that mean for everyone. I'm really curious, if you're an artist, why do you call yourself an artist? And also, what are you creating on a daily basis? And I'm telling you, everyone is an artist, but if you don't see yourself as an artist, just tell me, what do you create every day? I'm curious, generally curious to see what people are creating, what is everyone's passions, besides photography, of course. Photography, it's one of my biggest passions as well, as so many others. But there are, different channels or mediums that we like to explore ourselves and to try and to see where our soul is the most excited and happy. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you like this chill talk with me, I am happy to dive deeper into another topic next time. And until next time, stay juicy and create.